welcome back. So we are here today with singer-songwriter Hannah Gazso.
Hey everybody!
How are you doing today?
I'm really good, how are you?
Awesome. I'm good, thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, of course.
We're super excited. We're going to do a little interview, maybe write a song. We'll see how Rochelle and my songwriting skills go. It's probably don't have high hopes.
Believe me, anyone can write a song. It's just a matter of actually convincing yourself that you can do it. So that's like the hardest part.
Perfect.
So we got it.
Fake it till you make it.
100%. That's how I got here. So it all works out.
So let's start with you just telling us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm based in the Edmonton area. I've been like writing and singing since it's kind of like the typical story of writing and singing since I could talk sort of thing. I picked up the guitar at 12 and wrote my first song at 12 that was like a serious song that wasn't about like butterflies in the trees. Ever since that point I've just loved songwriting and performing, and my passion is definitely in creating the stories and being able to share them with people.
When was the exact moment that you decided that music was what you wanted to pursue?
I feel like there's those little moments every day, honestly. Like, I wouldn't say there was a definitive moment where I was like, oh yeah, this is it for me. I think I have those moments every time I like see live music, I'm at a concert, hear a great song on the radio, write a great song. Those little moments happen every day that want me to keep going. I wouldn't say there was like a turning point where I was like, oh yeah, this is it for me. It's just a constant like growing love for it.
How has your songwriting developed from, let's say, when you were younger, writing songs about butterflies in the trees to now writing more serious stuff? Yeah,
I think it's really difficult to find your voice as a songwriter, especially because what you learn is what you hear on the radio, and so you just try to mimic that as best you can. So a lot of times it just doesn't feel authentic to you. So I spent a lot of time trying to figure out exactly what it was that I actually wanted to say and trying to find the kind of music that I like to listen to, the kind of styles I like to listen to. And then further than that, kind of how those songs are structured and what I want my lyrics to look like. So I think evolving from, the butterflies in the trees to kind of now where I have songs with people on Canadian country radio, it's definitely just been an evolution of trying to find what I like and what I'm actually good at, because a lot of people aren't good at everything. I'm not good at everything. And so being able to find my strengths in songwriting was definitely a really helpful position for me to be in.
How would you describe your style?
As a songwriter, I like to write anything. I love pretty much any genre. I write primarily country for other artists to release. For myself, I write a lot of indie folk. Honestly, I pretty much walk a lot of lines, and I'm happy to do so. As a writer, though, I'd say it's definitely country for sure for anyone who is hearing songs that aren't with my voice on them.
What would you say is the reason for the difference between like yourself singing more indie folk versus like writing for others, it's more country? Yeah,
honestly, I wish I had the answer for that one. I'm still figuring that out. I think I just got into country music as a young person and really started just like growing and developing my talents in that genre. So it was natural for me to start making those connections with other writers in the country genre, and then the people that I've ended up becoming friends with or like colleagues with are in that industry and in that kind of sector of the music industry. So it just made sense to like write country music for them, and they're the ones who I actively have those connections with and are seeking songs to put out. So that's what I love to do in terms of writing for other people. But then for myself, I don't really find myself listening to country music anymore. It's not a huge part of my like daily ritual as it used to be. I still do love it and support all the artists that I have been lucky enough to know, but as far as what I listen to, like I really, really like listening to that indie folk singer-songwriter style that has just a little bit more of a different structure that's not so like this happened and then chorus and then this happened and you won't believe it in the bridge and then this happened. Like I kind of like to play with that kind of structure a bit and challenge that as much as I can. Definitely not incredibly unique by any means, but it's been fun to try to push the borders a little bit in my own style.
What advice would you have for aspiring singers or songwriters who maybe don't know how to go about pushing those boundaries or how to find their voice?
100%. Just start and don't be hard on yourself. As someone who's an extreme perfectionist, that's like the worst thing that I could ever hear from people, and I was always like shaking my head when I was getting that advice. But it really is true. You just have to like put pen to paper, pick up the guitar, sit down at the piano, whatever your kind of thing that you're most comfortable doing, do that, but don't judge yourself about it. Don't hold yourself to any standards about what it should sound like, or, oh, I need this to sound like this artist or this song, because we already have those artists and those songs. We don't have your voice and your take on the industry and your take on what needs to be said. So it's really like the hardest part is actually getting out of your own way and just sitting down and doing it for yourself and not because you're trying to make it sound like someone else.
Such good advice. Oh, so all set.
I mean, I need to like take it more often, but
I'll just clip that part of it and send it back to you.
Please,
like,
yeah, and I'll just like, that'll be my alarm every morning.
Do you remember the first song you ever wrote?
I don't know if I remember like the very first song I ever wrote, but I do remember, like, I still have my little like song binder to this day from like kindergarten. It's like a blue binder with a bunch of butterfly stickers on it, and I was super passionate about creating my own lined paper to write my songs on. So it was blank paper with my crooked pen lines, and then
that's iconic.
And then my lyrics, which were usually quite literally, look at me, look at what you see. If a dream takes a chance, fly into a tree. Like, that's, I think, almost a direct quote.
We love a rhyming girl, though. You were.
I always had my rhyme schemes down. I will say that I always had those rhyme schemes down. So that's the strength. That's the strength I found.
Just run with that.
Yeah, you got it. Gotta go with what you got.
That's so cute. So I'm assuming that your process in writing songs has changed quite a bit from crooked line paper to now.
100%.
So what does the process look like for you now writing a song?
Yeah, it depends if I'm writing on my own or with other people. I think most of my writes these days are with other people. That's called co-writing. So when you're doing a co-write, you can either do that in person, or most of the time these days it's online. So through something like Zoom, FaceTime, whatever your platform is. And basically, yeah, you just set a time, you sit down and write, and you kind of block out like a couple hours to get some ideas going. It's always a good rule of thumb to bring in some ideas into the write, so you're not just letting the other person kind of give everything and you just sit there. So that's definitely hard, because it can be difficult to see where you think that person might want to go with something. But yeah, just bring a couple ideas, and they don't have to be amazing, they don't have to be fully fleshed or anything, like couple words, couple concepts, just bring them in, and you just kind of throw stuff at the wall till it sticks. That could take 10 minutes, it could take 2 hours, and ideally, like, you start to get moving somewhere, and then the song just kind of starts to write itself. And whether you're an instrumentalist or a vocalist or a lyricist, lots of people are all of those things, so everyone kind of puts on the right hat in the room and works together to figure it out. So yeah, I'm kind of a person who writes based off my guitar, and we just sit and play chords and play with some words until something starts to sound good, and then we just keep rolling with it, and eventually you have a song. It's kind of, honestly, it's a lot easier than people think it is to like sit and do it.
I think it would be the hardest thing in the entire world. I can write like plays or things that are just words, but putting music to it and
totally fair,
making something catchy that people can, you know, get stuck in their head.
Yep.
I just do not have that talent
whatsoever. That's totally fair. I mean, everyone like doubts themselves so hard, and I think songwriters even also still do that, but I truly believe, like I've always said this, everyone can sing, everyone can write a song. It's just, you have to believe that you can, and that's the hardest part. It's not the actual act of doing it. So I think everyone can do it, and I think we can do it for sure today. We'll put you to the test.
So inspiration for your songs, where does that come from?
I think the kind of cardinal rule of songwriting is, if you're looking for it, you're not going to find it. If you're like staring at something too hard trying to find inspiration in it, it's never going to come. And a lot of people, like, kind of like with writing plays, like you get writer's block and you're like, I have no idea where I'm going to go with this. And that's where you actually have to just like pause and go live your life for a bit and stop thinking about, oh, I can't write this, I need to write this. Like, you just need to actually live your life and have those ups and downs of regular everyday reality to find that inspiration. So it could be like face-to-face interactions you have with a stranger, or like the way that the sky looks driving home on a Tuesday. Like, it's not about looking for it and sitting down and being like, okay, I need to write a song, I don't know what about, and I'm gonna find it. You just live your life with your notes app open, jot a couple things anytime you feel like, oh, that's kind of cool, and then sit down at a later date and figure it out. That's the most important part. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite song or a favorite line from a song that you've written?
That I've written? Shoot. I think a song that's really important to me, I wrote a song called Indigo with a friend of mine named Olivia Wick, and a lot of people find that one resonates a lot with them, just because I think it's a pretty general story that you can kind of apply whatever situation you're going through to. The hook of that song is, missing you is deeper than blue, it's indigo. And I did not write it about heartbreak, but a lot of people find inspiration from that about their heartbreak. I was like 16 and just super emo, so I was like just writing deep stuff because I felt like I could. So like, yeah, I think those are the best songs that you can write, are ones that anyone can apply to any situation, and you don't have to be, you know, like 22 or in love with this man or out on a vacation in California. Like, it has to be a song that can be applicable to anyone at any age in any situation, and that's when you know that you've written a really good song.
That's so interesting, because I always think of songs that are overly specific, and it's not that they aren't amazing, because I love a lot of music, and 100%. Sometimes things are super specific, 100%. But it's almost like things that are super specific but vague, like things like that, where people can impede their own ideas onto it, 100%. And then that's what they can relate to and like kind of take hold of.
Absolutely. I think, the devil's in the details in that sense, where you can get as specific as you want with the actual lines of what you're saying. Like, if you want to say he was driving a blue Tacoma down the 405, you can say that, absolutely. But as long as the general message of the song leaves room for interpretation, that's all you need to worry about. Like, I think you can have as many specifics as you want, because it makes it just a lot more interesting and a lot more, like, colorful. But the general message is always should be universal, in my opinion, or as universal as it can be.
Mm-hmm. Is there something that maybe you would wish you had known when you first started songwriting that now you look back and you're like, wow, how did I not know that?
Like, not every song is a good song, and that's totally okay. Like, it is so hard to, like, come out, especially when you have a long write where it's like you've written for like 4 hours and you're like, oh, at this point it should be amazing, and then you listen to it the next day and you're like, oof, I don't know how I feel about that. That's totally fine. And I think a lot of the advice that you get as a songwriter is you have to write 100 bad songs to get a good one, which sounds awful, and I don't think it's 100, but you have to write a lot of bad songs to get the good ones that you really, really like, and that's just a part of the process. And they're not bad songs, they're just songs that you might not resonate with or don't feel right to you at the time. A song is a song, and the act of doing it is good. There's no bad qualities to it. So I think that's something that's really important, is trying not to put as much value on, like, oh, this has to be the best song, and then, oh, this next one's got to be the best one. You're never trying to one up yourself, you're just trying to better yourself.
Yeah, it's more about you than it is about the song itself.
100%.
You know? And
yep.
I mean, I'm talking as if I know. Never mind, don't listen to
me. I mean, you write plays. Like, that is totally, totally similar. You're always trying to, like, one up what your last work was and make it better than what it was before, but it's just an act of, like, learning yourself and learning what you like and what you don't like. It's not about what actually comes out, exactly like you said.
And how your voice carries through your work as well. That's, like, a big thing that's been a learning experience for me in the writing that I do, because sometimes I'm like, oh, this sounds like it makes no sense, or da-da-da-da-da, but sometimes people will read it and relate to it, you know?
100%.
And so you don't want to, like, stomp on yourself.
You can't be your harshest critic. As much as it's easy to be, you have to, like, let other people also tell you if it sucks. If, like, you just have to put it out there and see what happens. You can't try to filter it before that happens. Yeah,
getting feedback and, like, sharing your work with other people, 100%. The hardest thing ever, but
brutal.
So important for the process.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
If you could collaborate with anyone in the entire world, dead or alive, who would it be?
Right now, probably Casey Musgraves. I think I probably said that at every point in my life, but especially right now, she just released a new album that's really incredible, and I've been a fan of hers since I was, like, basically picking up the guitar. So getting to grow, like, with her evolution and having her music as kind of a point to follow throughout my journey has been really cool, and just seeing where she's landed right now is really, really interesting. And I just think she's a super talented lyricist, and she just has a really cool way of putting simple things into, like, a complex concept. So I think that would be really cool. But yeah,
so if you see this,
Casey girl, I love you so much.
Out.
If you remember the girl from BBJ in 2017 with a big sign with your name on it,
it's her.
That's me.
Hit her up. I'm waiting for the clap. One day it'll happen. We're manifesting it. We're saying it out loud. Or no, how do you say it? It's like you say the thing as if it's already happened.
Yeah, I'm co-writing with Casey Musgraves.
There you go.
Please don't take that clip out of context. Big Valley Jamboree is a music festival here in Alberta, and it's a country music festival in Camrose, essentially, like middle of nowhere almost. And
no offense, Camrose.
No offense, I love you, Camrose. Trust me, like, I love you so much. But yeah, they have a bunch of big acts, and it's a huge weekend. It's so fun, and they also have a competition, or they have had prior, called the Road to Main Stage competition. It's changed names a couple times, but when I was doing it, it was the Road to Main Stage competition. So every year I was at BBJ because I was competing in this competition. And one year the lineup came out that Casey Musgraves was performing, and I was like, I have to see her. And so you can kind of pick the day that you compete on. So I picked that day specifically so that I'd get to see her after, like, win or lose, whatever happened to me. I was like, I get to see Casey Musgraves. Obviously, didn't even make it to the finals, didn't even come close. But I got to see Casey, and that was, like, the best part of all of it. And yeah, a lot of people said her performance was, like, super boring and uninteresting. And I was just sitting there, like, sign waving, like, I knew what she was capable of, and I knew that that's the style of performance that she was going to give. So it was the best. Yeah, she's amazing.
Oh my gosh, wow. I've only been to BBGA like a couple times, but I never saw her, but that would have been so sick.
She's an incredible performer and just like the voice of an angel, but yeah.
Would you say that's the best live performance that you've ever seen?
Ooh, no. What would be the best one? I think I saw a lot of concerts this past year, and I did have the opportunity to see Noah Kahan in Vancouver, actually, in August of 2023.
Oh my gosh, so fun.
Yeah, so right before he started doing his big stadium tour, I got to see him in, like, the second smallest venue next to an arena. So, like, that was really, really cool, and he was just incredible. Like, I love him so much, and I love every song of his, so that was just a really cool experience, and he just has a very captivating way of performing, so I think that was great. I just saw him again in March because I love him so much. And honestly, between the two, there wasn't a lot of difference in his performance. He can control a room, whether it's 10 people or like 20,000, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, I saw him at Rogers when he came here to Edmonton.
Yeah.
Yeah, March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
End of March, yeah.
Yes. And I'm always in awe by live performance because it is something I cannot do. And so I have even more respect for the act because, like, holy Moses, to go night after night to sing your voice.
It's crazy.
Wow.
I don't see myself being like a long-term touring artist because that's just like so much work. It is crazy, the stuff that they put themselves through and then just get up on a stage every night and do it again. Like, it is so admirable, for sure.
For sure. But I also think I definitely see how much fun that they have, and I'm like, this is why you do it.
100%.
But his performance, his performance was amazing.
So good. He's just got a gorgeous voice, and I really like the way that he kind of like ad-libs throughout his performance. Like, he switches up some things that he doesn't always do in his recorded versions, which is really cool. So yeah, I definitely have a lot of admiration for him. His opener was incredible as well. Her name's Jensen McCrae. She's a smaller singer-songwriter. I found her on TikTok, of all places, of course, and she's incredible. So I was really excited to see her as well. She has a beautiful voice, so that was awesome.
It was an amazing concert.
Yeah.
So. Oh, it's over. No one can see it again.
I was going to say,
mind.
Go check it out.
So, live performance. What would you say is your favorite live performance that you've given? That you've ever done?
Ooh, I can say, like, my favorite style of performing for sure, because I can't really pick one of these opportunities in particular, but all of them are my favorite. There's these things called songwriters rounds that feature, like, typically like 3, 4, 5 artists up on a stage. They're all on stage at the same time. They're all sitting in a row, and basically they just each play a song one at a time, a song that they've written, and it just goes down the line, and then you come back and you go back down the line, and it's just typically like about 3 or 4 songs in a round. And the audience goes in with the expectation that you're there to listen to the music, and you're not there to like talk over the artists or there to hear like traditional hit songs. So you just have like a really great captive audience, and you get the chance to explain the stories behind your songs, why you've written them, who you've written them with, what it means to you, and then you get to play it for an audience. And those are my favorite because it's sitting on a stool, really intimate with your guitar, and that's where I feel like I shine the most, for sure.
That's so beautiful, because then you're sharing your thoughts behind the song, you know? Because like we were talking about before, people can take your song or take your work, whatever, kind of put their ideas onto it.
100%.
But that is like solely about you in that moment.
You're like, this is where I was coming from. This is exactly why I wrote it. This is what I meant by this. Like, you get to actually like give an introduction with depth to it, rather than just being like, go stream this, or this is my song. It's really awesome. Yeah. So if you ever have the chance to check one out, they do have a lot in the Edmonton area. They're the best shows ever. If you ever see the words songwriters round together on a show, go.
Dream performance venue. If you could perform anywhere in the world, where would you like to go?
This is super cliche as like a former country artist, but there is a venue in Nashville called the Ryman. And they call it the Mother Church in Nashville. It's a very, very famous venue. The Grand Ole Opry used to be hosted there. Now it's hosted in its own separate theater, but that is a beautiful, beautiful venue. They have gorgeous stained glass windows, and it just like carries sound so beautifully. And there are literal pews, like you sit in pews. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful venue, and I would love to be able to do like a really acoustic style performance there. That would be like a dream for sure. Very far-fetched dream, but a dream nonetheless, yeah.
Not far-fetched. It will happen. One day it will happen.
We'll just stay tuned. 20 years from now, we'll do one of these again.
We will, there, actually.
Perfect, we'll be backstage at the Ryman.
Exactly,
Amazing.
There you go.
Amazing.
You heard it here first, so when it actually happens, I will call you.
Perfect.
I will follow you to Nashville.
That sounds lovely.
So you in the Ryman doing that performance, who would you want in the audience?
I don't care, to be honest. Like, as long as you are like, oh, that seems cool, or like, oh, I like this girl's song or her voice. Like, I do not care where you come from, what you do, as long as you feel that you value what I say and you want to hear more of what I have to say. That's like the biggest blessing in the world, and I couldn't put like a specific label or like a wanted ad on who I would want in that audience. Like, I just, as long as you feel passionate about music and storytelling, that's all that matters to me.
Oh, that's so cute.
I feel like I could say like a lot of like famous people, but like as long as it's just people who like music, I'm happy. Like, that is all that matters to me. Yeah.
I feel like the audience really helps with the vibe of the performance.
100%. Yeah.
Like, wow, words. Noah Kahan's performance in March, like, the audience was so invested.
So, yeah. 100%.
And so that just helped the vibe.
Gives so much energy. Yeah, I'd rather play to, like, a room of 10 people who are super, super, like, focused and engaged and enjoying it than, like, a million people who are just, like, indifferent to it, because you can feel that energy on stage. Everyone else in the room feels the energy, and it's just, yeah, when you have people intently watching and listening and you can actually, like, make eye contact and connect with them, that's, like, worth its weight in gold for sure.
The difference of being in the room with the people experiencing that energy versus let's talk more like online social media, that idea. How do you think it's beneficial and like not beneficial for musicians?
Yeah, I could talk about this for about 7 years, so we'll come back to that at another point in 7 years. But yeah, TikTok especially is a great venue for artists to perform in the virtual space. A lot of my favorite artists now I've discovered on TikTok, Noah Kahan unfortunately being one of them. I wish I could say I was like not one of the people who saw him on TikTok, but no, I did see his music on TikTok and fell in love with him and a lot of other artists there. So I think it's a great place to get your music out there and kind of build yourself a bit of a platform, but it's also so hard because there's so much pressure to like go viral or like accumulate this mass following of people on these apps, and I just don't think that is like an authentic way to go about your career. And if that does happen naturally, absolutely, that's amazing, and keep pursuing that. But I don't think people should feel pressured that in order to post on those apps, or even if they don't want to post on those apps, like that's not something that you need to cultivate. You do not have to have that social media presence if you don't want to. A lot of people will tell you that they will, or that you do. And if you are pursuing like a major label, you will have to do that. But if you're passionate about just doing things behind the scenes and not posting it, keep doing that. Like, don't pressure yourself to have those online presences if you don't want to, because it can be a lot of pressure and a lot of weight on you if that's not something that you're passionate about. So if you like it, do it. If you don't, and yeah, just keep doing like what you enjoy. Don't feel pressure to do it if you don't like it, for sure.
I think social media has so many benefits and so many positives
100%.
as you're speaking to,
Gosh,
then there's also that negative side of the pressure and the things that other people think, and it's crazy how digital our world has become and how much of a voice people have online, which is both a positive and a negative, but take everything with a grain of salt.
100%.
Remember, it is virtual.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's easy to get invested in it and really start to care about what's going on, but as long as you maintain those connections in the real world and you're set. Yeah.
Real world connections and moments.
Yeah.
They are what's important.
100%.
Speaking of which, what moment of your career so far would you say has been the most memorable? Like, is there one maybe performance or event or songwriting session, like one moment that sticks out and you're like, oh my gosh, this was so much fun?
I think this has like very little to do with me specifically, but there's a song that I wrote with two of my best friends, Megan Dawson and Chelsea Hayslip, and it was pretty successful on Canadian country radio. It went number 1 on Sirius XM Top of the Country for a week, which was really cool. And it wasn't that moment that was the coolest. It was actually seeing Megan Dawson perform it live at a venue here in Edmonton called Cook County. It's a country bar, and she was on the stage performing, and we got to hear that song live, me and my co-writer Chelsea, and we actually just got to like sing the words back to her, back to Megan up on stage, and that was like the coolest feeling ever, just being able to be like, wow, we wrote that song, and like she's playing it at a bar that we go to on the weekend. Like that is a really, really cool feeling.
That would be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it was so fun. It was so cool. Yeah.
What would you say is the most rewarding part of the work that you do?
When people are like, wow, that song like really means a lot to me. I'm like, really? Like little old me?
Really?
Oh my gosh. Nice. I'm just writing words out of my little noggin over here. But yeah, when people actually feel, even like if just a phrase of my song connects with them, that's the most incredible feeling. Being able to provide a voice for people who feel like they can't do that or feel like they don't have the ability to like articulate their thoughts. I try to be like a vessel for that and have places where people can find themselves in my songs. And when people come up to me after a show or on social media or whatever and say like, oh, I love this part of that song, like it really relates to what I'm going through, that's like more than any award could ever be. And like it's just the best feeling ever.
And then what would you say is the most challenging aspect of the work that you do?
Like doing it. It's really hard to like you're self-employed, right? And the opportunities that you're seeking, you have to do every little bit of it, especially when you're independent. You're your manager, you're your booking agent, you're your publicist, you're your own writer, you're seeking out producers, you're like organizing everything. Luckily, as someone who's more songwriter oriented, I really don't have to worry about a lot of that stuff, which takes a huge weight off of me for sure. But yeah, just being the one in charge of everything, I'm like, I'm not ready to do this. Like I'm not a grown up. Yeah, who put me in charge? Like it's definitely difficult to be like, okay, no, I can do this. I can assert myself and create those opportunities for myself, because yeah, it's scary and it's intimidating, but everyone started somewhere, so you just got to remember that and just do it the best you can. And yeah, everyone's got faults, so just be open about yours and keep moving forward. Yeah.
For those who are starting off, is that the advice you would give them, or is there some piece of advice that you'd want to impart on the youth?
Absolutely. Just do it, not to be cliche and Nike about it, but quite literally just do it. It's really important to just, like, you can dip your toe in at first, but once you get a feel for the water, like, dive fully in. And if you're finding something that you're enjoying, just focus on that. Don't worry about, oh, you need to release this song, or, oh, you need to play this show. If you're finding things and opportunities that are important to you, just keep going with it. Don't put pressure on yourself about being the best at this or the worst at that. Like I said, you have a million artists in the world. We don't need more of those specific artists. We don't need another Noah Kahan. We don't need another Taylor Swift, because we already have them and they're incredible, but we don't have you yet, and we want you. So just focus on what it is that you do best and try to portray that to the world, because that's like the most valuable thing.
Wow, you should like side job motivational speaking, because
I would not.
I feel empowered, and I'm like, I don't even write music. Like, I'm not going to write music. I cannot do that. But
I would not pay to watch myself speak, so I would not expect anyone else to do that.
I would pay to watch you speak.
Well, I appreciate it.
Moving forward in your career and all the things you're doing, where do you hope to see yourself in like 5 years?
Yeah, it's definitely hard to say. I have like a lot of passions in my life, and I'm really grateful to be able to say that. I'm still in university, and I love pursuing academia as far as I can with that regard. And I love music, and I love just a lot of things in my life. So it's hard to say where exactly I want to be in 5 years. I just know I still want to be writing music and hopefully still be holding that role as a songwriter. That's really important to me, to be kind of a songwriter first and an artist second. So as long as I'm still writing songs, like that's the most I could ask for. I don't really have like a specific trajectory or anything like that. A lot of people have those 5-year business plans, and I'm just like, yeah, we'll see. We'll find out what happens. As long as I'm doing what I enjoy, that's all that matters to me. I don't really have like a must-do deadline or anything like that.
Do you have anything coming up in the near future that you're really excited about?
Definitely some songs on the horizon, so definitely stay tuned to my social media for that. I'm not the most active on social media because, like I said, I don't love it that much as far as music goes, but anything that comes out with my name on it, I absolutely will share. So I definitely have some songs that I've co-written on that are being released by other artists. It might be this calendar year or potentially next, so definitely stay tuned for that. That's kind of my main focus right now, is just getting my voice out through the words of my own and the voices of other people. So yeah, that's just something to look forward to for myself, I guess.
And then last question.
Yeah.
What would you say is the best piece of advice you've received throughout your life?
When I was in Nashville for the first time, I think I was 12 or 13, we went to a songwriters round, and this guy was hammered, drunk, out of his mind, but gave a great performance and came up to us after, or we went up to him after, because he had written a song that I really love. And I was like, I had no idea you wrote that song. What would you tell to someone who's like trying to write music? And he was like, just be you. Just be you. And so now every time before a show, my dad texts me, just be you. And as like so simple as it is, and it came out of a drunk man's mouth, like it truly is the best advice that I've been given, because I think I've reiterated about 4 times that we have a million other people who are doing incredible things, but there is no one who can do exactly what you do. And I think it's been really important for me to be like focusing on what it is that I enjoy and what it is I feel passionate about, and not worry about trying to make myself look or sound like other people. So just being myself is the biggest advice and the most important thing I've tried to run with, for sure.
Oh my gosh, you're so cool.
I don't know if I call it that, but I'll take it.
Well, thank you very much for sitting down with me.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I'm very grateful to be here.
All right. Now we're going to try and write a song. We have a hat of ideas.
Yeah, I said that we could just put a hat with a bunch of random words in it, because that's honestly how most songs start, is with a word or a phrase or an idea of some kind. So I have no idea what's in there. I just have them write a bunch of things, and we're just going to probably pull a couple out and try to make something happen. Bridget, you do the honors.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
First lady here.
Let's see.
Okay.
It says sorrow. This was Rochelle's word.
Perfect.
She put me on the spot. This is not my fault.
So we'll go with sorrow. I'll take one as well, and we can it's good to have options. Focus. I was here when that one was written because we were struggling to focus. So we'll take that.
Okay, perfect.
And we'll do one more.
On and off.
Ooh.
Okay.
So let's gather these here. So we've got sorrow, focus, and on and off. So what I'm getting from this is, on and off relationship, feeling sad, you're losing focus of what the relationship once was, maybe.
Oh, wow.
I like
you just
that.
It's like you're reading tarot cards, but just like words. I don't know. It's a freaky kind of nature, but we'll work with it. Okay. Do we have any songs that we really like right now that we like the sound of? Because honestly, that's how the music starts for a lot of them too, is I'm like, oh, I really love the way that this song sounds. I wonder what chords they were using. Look it up, and then you just kind of go from there.
That's so interesting. I've never.
You would think it'd be like copyright infringement,
Yeah.
and it definitely can be if you like play the exact same thing that someone else was playing.
Hannah is not saying to do that.
I
just for the
do
record.
not copy a song word for word, chord for chord, but a lot of the same chords are used in almost every song ever written. So you can kind of just take a chord combination and replicate it.
I think it's Ed Sheeran that he plays like 40 of the top pop songs and uses the same 3 chords.
Yep.
It's so funny.
It's country music is called 3 chords and the truth, because it's literally just the same 3 chords in most songs and some sort of vulnerable truth. Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's so fun.
So yeah, any songs off the top of our heads that we have really liked recently, I could probably figure out if we know the gist of it.
I'm trying to think of the actual music to songs, because I feel like whenever I listen to songs, it's always the words that I'm listening to.
If you just say the title of the song, I can figure it out.
Oh.
Easily. Pretty easily. I say that and then I'm going to be struggling, but...
I've been listening to Northern Attitude.
Ooh, okay.
A lot.
If I get too close and I'm not high up, forgive my northern attitude. Obviously not in the correct key, but we can make it the correct key, I'm sure. This is called a capo. You put it on your fret, and then it'll make it higher, so you can play those exact same chords, but it's just higher. So that's all it is. If I get too close and I'm not high up. You like that kind of vibe? Mm-hmm. Yeah? So those are the easiest chords. We're just playing a simple G, C, E minor, and a little bit of D. And that's like pretty much every chord that is used in a popular song. So we're off to a great start. All right.
We're passing.
You're passing with flying colors. Don't worry. All right. Sorrow, focus, on and off. Mm-hmm. Do any of these feel like a title to you? Like they could be like the thing that you look up when you look up the song. Do you feel like any of those call to you?
I would say like maybe focus.
Focus? Yeah. We can definitely shape around focus. Okay. So typically when you're writing some kind of popular song, it might be the last word in the chorus or one of the last words in the chorus is the title or what we call the hook. So we could kind of start to write a chorus and shape it towards that focus if we want to make focus our hook.
Okay.
All right. So, do we want to like interweave the story of the relationship? Like, you've been no good to me, and something about how awful things are, and I don't want to leave, but I have to go so far. Like, do we want to create a story in the chorus? How are we feeling about this person that we're on and off with? Are we going to leave this person? Are we going to convince this person to stay? Are they leaving? Where do we feel like we're going?
These are good questions.
These are very good questions.
And the best part is there's no right answer. You can say anything.
I kind of like the idea of, that idea that, you like fall in love and things were good, but you're maybe on a different path than the other person. And so it's been like on and off because work gets in the way or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to achieve something different than the other person maybe.
Totally.
And so it's been on and off and now they're trying to refocus what they need to do for themselves.
Yeah.
So they've been putting too much in the other person.
Wow, Bridget.
We got the playwright over here. So don't know if you can tell, but she's got some crazy stories that she can leave here. I like it a lot. Okay, so we're growing in different paths. You still love them, but you know that you need to move forward. Okay. So I almost want to start it with like the on and off. I think that'd be kind of a cool way to start the chorus. Like on and off, I'm trying to find it good. Like something like that.
Yeah.
Like sorrow till I'm something and something and then we could kind of like do you really something and to change it. Then we go into the last part, which is gonna be focus, like something like that.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing.
This is so good. I'm gonna watch this back and be like, Bridget, you're being so creepy staring at her in awe because like
literally I'm just like smiling like, oh, that's so fun.
You guys are so funny. I cannot. Okay, so we're gonna kick it off with like that on and off. So like I'm trying to find it or I'm trying to see it. Like on and off. Yeah, hit me.
I'm just trying to think like on and off, like we tried, almost like on and off.
Yeah.
We're trying to make it work.
Yeah, we tried and yeah, totally. On and off, we tried and like too
But I
far gone to something and like lately all I'm seeing is the sorrow. Can't even stop thinking about tomorrow. Like, will you see? Yeah, okay. We're getting somewhere. Somewhere. On and off, we tried and too far gone, something here. Like, lately I've been seeing is the sorrow. Can't even stop thinking about tomorrow. Will you be the one I know this? Or are you losing focus? Like something like that.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
So good.
I did switch it up. I went to an A minor 7. I like to do a funky chord. My nails are long, so I'm sorry that they don't sound the best playing the chords, but
They sound incredible.
Yeah.
Trust me, the guitar.
Every-
That will
I was about
sound
to
bad.
say-
every
You don't wanna
guitar
hear me.
player is screaming at me through this video right now. Okay, so we've got on and off. We've tried and tried. I just said too far gone because my brain likes to do internal rhymes where it rhymes like words that aren't the end of the sentence, but
Yeah. What if it was too far gone
Mhm.
because you lied? Because the lied rhymes with tried. But I don't know if
we
that's
got a liar up in here. Okay.
good.
On and off, we tried and tried. Too far gone because you lied. And all that I can see something seen. Yeah, too far gone.
Can't even
start thinking about tomorrow. Yeah. Everything I see is in the sorrow. Can't even stop thinking about tomorrow. Will you be something? What's a good word that rhymes with focus? That would be relevant to our
hocus
and focus. Focus. I like to think of what are called near rhymes, so rhymes that aren't perfect but are close enough. Know this, notice, chose this, something this. Anything that rhymes in ing could be a loose rhyme, like focus, open.
And this is for which part, sorry?
So it'll be, everything I'm seeing is a sorrow. Can't stop something about tomorrow. Will you be the something rhymes with focus? Or something, here we say focus. So the very end of the chorus.
Okay.
Focus, hoping, hopeless, focus. Ooh, that could be kind of cool. Yeah. Definitely follows the message. All that I'm seeing is a sorrow. Can't even stop thinking about tomorrow. Is this something or is it hopeless? Like,
Baby, I need to focus?
Yeah, totally.
Maybe I need to focus?
Totally. So is this like happening, or is it hopeless, or is it hopeless? Babe, I need to focus. Okay, we like almost have a chorus, and that's the hardest part of the song. That's the part that's repeated over and over. So if you have that, you can do the rest, no problem. All right, so on and off we tried and tried, too far gone because you lied. All that I'm seeing is a sorrow. Can't even stop thinking about tomorrow. Will something or is it hopeless? Babe, I need to focus. So we just need a couple words. What do we want to set up to say hopeless? We said, all that I'm seeing is sorrow. Can't even start thinking about tomorrow. We're saying blah, 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 blah. Hopeless. Babe, I need to focus.
Because it's something, or is it hopeless, right? So this could be something
it could
a
be,
more
could be
positive.
like maybe we'll work out, or maybe it's hopeless kind of idea.
Yeah.
Or is it hopeless? Babe, I need to focus.
Maybe it's because I've never written a song before, but I'm like, wow, this is so good.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, this is actually amazing.
It's a banger.
Like,
that's
I would
for sure.
listen to this.
Okay, let's play it through. This is what I like to do when I'm like feel like I'm hitting a wall. I just keep playing it, and I feel like sometimes the spirits speak through me. On and off we tried and tried, too far gone because you lied. All that I'm seeing is a sorrow. Can't even stop thinking about tomorrow. Tell me, is this something or is hopeless? Babe, I need to focus. Like, you could say something about, I like to do a lot of alliteration, so what came to me when I was playing that is it could be like, this could be heaven or it could be hopeless. Babe, I need to focus, or something like that. I love putting words that have the same letters together because it's fun to say. It's fun to roll off the tongue. So it'd be, tell me, is this heaven or it's hopeless? Babe, I need to focus. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a chorus.
Woo! Look at that.
Crazy. Record time. So let's play it through now that we have it. On and off we tried and tried, too far gone because you lied. All that I'm seeing is a sorrow. Can't even stop thinking about tomorrow. Babe, this could be heaven or be hopeless. Babe, I need to focus.
Wow. Love.
It's really as easy as that to write a chorus.
That's
And that's
insane.
That's how you do
Mic
it.
drop.
Like, you made it seem so
Guitar
easy.
slam.
Like,
It really
crazy.
is. It can be that easy though. Like the way that you guys were just generating, you're like, oh, this rhymes with that. That's all you do, and you just keep doing that until you feel like you get better at it, and then you get worse at it, and then you get better at it, and then you just keep going. That's all you have to do. I promise.
I'm gonna go home and be like,
I
I'm
know.
gonna write it. It's gonna be disgusting.
It is not gonna work.
I hope you do. I hope people do realize that it's like, sure, there's like a craft to it and an art to it, but you can speak in a sentence, you can write a song. Like, it's really as simple as that. 100%.
And I think it helps when you're very talented at singing and
For
an amazing
sure,
guitar player too.
Because, like, if I were to sing those lyrics, it'd sound terrible. I'd be like, shut up, don't speak.
Everyone has a voice, everyone has a talent, and some people just feel like they don't, and that's okay. There's a reason there's karaoke. You can sing. People are made to sing. So, just trust yourself. Truth. Do we want to try any more, or do we feel like we're just happy where we're at?
I feel pretty confident with
Yeah,
that.
I really
I think
like
we should
that.
start taking this to the major labels like ASAP.
Oh,
100%.
for sure.
Yeah.
We're gonna find all of their emails and I'm just gonna send them a
100%.
sample.
100%.
Everyone.
We just have a chorus, but
just
we're
have a
ready to
chorus,
go large.
But it's really good.
Yeah,
It
we're
took
ready
like
for
3
it.
seconds to make it.
Let
so
us know when we need to
sign
tour.
That's
What's
so
our
funny.
group name?
Oh, we need a group name.
Do we pull a name out of the hat?
I was.
That would be good.
That's all
Do I
you.
pick it?
Yeah.
I see one with a lot of words on it. Open road at sunset.
We have like 12 in there that have to do with the sunset.
Open road
So
at sunset.
funny.
See, but I feel like something like at sunset. That could be our band name. At sunset.
Heard us here first for the first time.
At sunset.
I'll be
sunset.
dancing. I'll be the dancer in the background.
Ooh,
There you go.
That's fun.
And I
Do you want
will.
to like play drums or something?
That's a very big ask. Thank you.
I think
Tambourine
you
it is.
That's so
Tambourine it is.
See, tambourine is hard. You think it's easy, but it's hard, and I know you could do it.
Oh, thank you.
I know you
appreciate
could do
the
it.
thought.
I know you could do it, and you'd just be the best tambourine player we got. So. You heard it here at
At
sunset.
sunset.
At sunset.
Check us out.